Visit your participating Central Illinois IGA and pick up a NOAA weather radio at a special discount. When severe weather threatens, you'll be alerted. Then turn to the Forecast Center 3 team for the most accurate weather coverage in Central Illinois. Plus, you can help keep your community safe. For every 20 radios purchased, we'll donate one to a local school. Keeping you and your family safe from the storm whenever it may come. Weather Alert from Channel 3.
Growing up in a big family, I learned to work hard, make sacrifices, and solve problems. I'm Tim Davlin. I'm running for mayor because I love Springfield. 4 generations in my family call Springfield home. When we hold down taxes, root out corruption, and fight violence, we'll make it home for the next 4 generations of my family and yours. Let's work together to make Springfield great. How's that? It's good.
Tim Davlin, problem solver or mayor?
Things are really jumping in the gene pool because the Fighting Illini and the Big Ten's leading scorer, Brian Cook, have come to square off tonight against the Purdue Boilermakers and the league's second leading scorer, Willie Dean. First place in the Big Ten on the line tonight. Welcome to Big Ten Basketball from ESPN Plus, presented to you by Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick. A winter storm has rocked the Midwest, but that doesn't stop Big Ten basketball from going on inside Mackey Arena. It's a sellout, and it's the second meeting between the Illini and the Boilermakers. The significance of the game lies in the standings. Purdue wants to stay on the lead lap with Wisconsin and Michigan. Illinois could be right there as well with an upset win over Purdue. Greetings, Jim Barber along with Doug Altenberger. But for Illinois to win tonight, they got to deal with that Mackey magic that goes on here.
And you saw in the standings, there's all the teams at the top are undefeated. This is a critical week for Purdue. They play Illinois tonight and Michigan later on in the week, so they've got to hold serve if they want to make a run for the Big Ten championship.
And the Boilermakers so much different at home than they are on the road, especially lately, as the numbers seem to point out.
Yeah, one of the things that really jump out at you is the three-point shooting by Purdue at home, almost 40%. But they play great rugged defense, which Gene Katie loves to get the crowd involved. The crowd is fired up tonight. He'll look for that great defense effort that he demands every night in the Big Ten.
Yet he wants his defense to find Brian Cook tonight. That might not be easy because he moves around a lot.
Well, Cook is the senior leader for the Illini, and they'll need for him to step up tonight.
And Cook will do his best to stay out of foul trouble, which he has been able to do for most of the year. More on Purdue and Illinois when we come back.
Come on, Joey, let's have some of Grandma's old recipe ice cream.
Wow, it sure looks good.
It is, Joey. There's a whole world of wonderful flavors in her old recipe ice cream. It starts with fresh cream and cane sugar, then in go all kinds of other great-tasting treats.
Gosh, did Grandma make it herself?
Of course not, Joey. She goes to the store and buys it like everybody else.
Taste the premium quality of old recipe ice cream from Prairie Farms.
Do you know why corn growers use Balance Pro Plus to fine?
My last trip across my field was 107 days ago.
It's the flexible tank mix that keeps you out of the field all season.
My last trip was 110 days ago.
With Balance Pro's power of recharge and Define's enhanced grass control.
My last trip, it was 95 days ago.
All your weed pressures are gone with just one pass. That's our performance promise. To stay off your fields until harvest, use a pre-combination of Balance Pro and Define this spring.
This is my country. These are my people. This is the world I understand.
It's not just talking about service. It's really knowing the people we serve.
No one like the back of my own hand.
Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick.
This is your appetite talking, and this is a tasty alert. You're not gonna believe this, baby.
Right now, 5 Arby's roast beefs are just $5.95.
All that slow roasted beef. So tender, so juicy. And those sauces, that's what you want, baby.
Get 5 Arby's regular roast beef sandwiches for just $5.95, but not for long.
If you want the tasty, you gotta be hasty. Give in to your grown-up taste.
Tonight's game is being brought to you by Prairie Farms Ice Cream. Taste the homemade goodness of Prairie Farms. And by Option, grass control that puts you in control. We are moments away from the start between Illinois and Purdue. Let's take a look at the option keys to the game.
And for Illinois, it's Brian Cook needs to stay out of foul trouble. That's the only time he's been able to slow himself down when he's on the bench. Perimeter defense, we saw Purdue, a tremendous shooting team at home, almost 40% behind the three-point line. And the young guys, the freshmen, need to step up offensively, take the pressure off Brian Cook. And for Purdue, they need to attack inside. That's where Illinois is thin. Control the glass, a much better rebounding team over the season here. And they need to get Willie Dean his touches, especially in a half-court game.
What do you like about Willie, Doug?
Well, I don't think there's anybody better in the league that can finish like he can. Really takes it to the hole, and even though he's 6'2", he's so strong, he's tough to slow down.
His better games are at home. Let's see if he's got one in the making tonight.
You know, This Illini game is being brought to you in part by your local Chrysler dealers. Drive equals love.
It's time to meet your match at the Chrysler National Minivan event, where we'll match your down payment up to $750 and give you a $3,500 cash allowance for a total of $5,000 toward your down payment on the luxurious Town & Country. Or get 0% APR financing for 60 months and make no monthly payments for 90 days. Plus, get Chrysler's 770 Powertrain Limited Warranty. These are the best deals of the year, so hurry. Make your match at your Chrysler dealer today.
Today, every story is a local story, and events that happen far away, somewhere over there, affect you right here. You can rely on our experience to bring the news home to you. Whatever the story, wherever you live, the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather, where every story is a local story.
It's time to spring into action at your Honda dealer, because right now you can ride off with a great Honda Cruiser, Tourer, or Sport Bike, with financing as low as 2.9% with no down payment. Or if you'd rather spring for low payments, Shadow 750 start at $90 a month with your Honda card. Spring into action now at your Honda dealer.
Sportland Motorsports, serving you for over 25 years at 1600 North Lincoln, Urbana.
Time to ring the bell and get to round one of this heavyweight fight between Illinois and Purdue. The gene pool arrived an hour and a half before tip and got a motivational speech from the head coach. But they're not alone tonight. There are some visitors in the house. They hail from Champaign, Illinois, and they came in busloads this evening, Doug. The Orange Crush.
Yeah, they tried to sneak in under the wire, but when they started yelling ILL, I think their cover was blown.
Everybody knew who they were. Here in the starting lineup, brought to you by Prairie Farms Ice Cream. Taste the homemade goodness of Prairie Farms. Illinois has its usual three-guard starting lineup. Same thing for Purdue, but a couple of changes. Matt Keeper's in the starting lineup, and so is Demetrius Kilgore. Katie not happy with the other night against Northwestern.
Well, he's trying to send a message to the rest of the team that the level of play against Northwestern, that's unacceptable. So he's shaking up the lineup.
Now rebounded, outshot in that game by the Wildcats in an upset loss. Illinois, in the last win over Purdue, was able to hold Purdue without a field goal for the last 7.5 minutes. In fact, the Boilermakers were 0 for 13 from the floor. The overall series has tightened up nicely because of Illinois' wins as of late. Both coaches, I thought today, the shoot-arounds were pretty relaxed. Did you see that as well?
Yeah, I mean, they're ready. I mean, these guys have been through especially Gene Katie, they've been through the wars. And you see Bill Self I think he's trying to make his young team more relaxed. Gene Katie, on the other hand, say, hey, listen, we had some great couple days of practice. We're ready to go.
Wonderful atmosphere tonight for college basketball. People acting like survivors just getting here this evening, so that's been half the battle. When they met on January 22nd, Purdue unable to hold Illinois to a low shooting percentage, but the Boilermakers did out-rebound Illinois. I think that could be significant tonight.
And the other stat there you don't see that Purdue was able to get to the free throw line. They shot over 31 free throws in that game, and that really kept them in the ballgame.
Only hit about 60% of them. Mr. Cook ready to go to work for the Illini. Sanzier, Steed, and Crawford will officiate this evening's game. Chris Booker up against James Augustine, one of the fine freshmen for Illinois. Mike Sanzier has the ball. Awaits the official word. We're set. And Lutherhead, who's been recovering from an injury, gets the ball first for Illinois. Darren Williams, he was a handful the first time for Illinois. Looking down low to Cook, and Cook able to get good position. That was a set play. They probably went over in the locker room. Purdue, in their shoot-around, was trying to prevent that backdoor, that lob. Got caught sleeping on the open possession. Kilgore in the starting lineup, rims a three, rebound Williams. Williams had 7 assists in the win in Champaign over Purdue. No secret so far, Illinois trying to attack inside, and that one picked off by Lowe. Kilgore looks at another three, settles a little closer. And despite the start tonight, Kilgore 0 of 2. Gene Katie really wants to get that ball inside. Doesn't want to shoot those jump shots. He did that after 3 or 4 passes. Get the ball inside. Be aggressive offensively. D. Brown on the bounce to Cook. 19 on this possession. I see right now, Jim, what's happening. Ball goes in the post. Both Cook and Augustine. Purdue's going to come over on the weak side and double team. And Illinois trying to look for that open guy. So far had a hard time with the pressure on the perimeter by Purdue. And off the inbounds, Williams with the open shot misses. Rebound Purdue. Dean on the flash to the basket. And that one is picked off by Lutherhead. Illinois has the lone basket here in the first minute and a half. Nice job by Purdue to get back defensively. How about that for a freshman, James Augustine? No wonder everybody's in love with this group in Champaign.
Well, Bill Self said, boy, we didn't know how good we've got. This guy really has stepped up, and when they recruited him, they thought he would be good, but not this good, this quick. And he's a great shooter, but what's hurt him is foul trouble.
And a 5-second count. Good defense by D. Brown forces the second Purdue turnover. This is a wonderful start for Illinois and a bad one for Katie.
And then you see ball reversal. Looks in, that's what Illinois loves to run, that high-low. And what sets that up is the adjustment, but down low, everybody's got to help out on Cook. Good read by Augustine, and he nails down the three.
Purdue off a very difficult loss to Northwestern. Illinois had a lot of time off, just the second game in 13 days. But hardly looking rusty at the beginning.
Well, they've had a whole week to prepare for Purdue, so nothing should surprise them. Both defensively, been able to go over their stats and what they run offensively.
That's a 3 for Brown, an 8-0 start for Illinois. Very few teams come into Mackey Arena and do that from the beginning. Keeper trying to put Purdue on the board, and does.
And both teams, ball goes down low. They're going to double team, but you got to check up the slasher, the cutter to the basket. Darren Williams is late there in his rotation.
Augustine, a great catch inside, able to get the ball back. And he finds Williams to Brown, and now Head. And Illinois with terrific ball movement has hit 3 threes in the first 2.5 minutes.
Boy, when they play that terrific defense, and then you try to stop Cook down low, something's got to give. And Illinois is taking what the defense given, and they're perfect from behind the three-point line.
Purdue had a tough time defending the three against Northwestern as the Cats were able to hit some big-time threes from a couple of their big people down the stretch. In this game, though, as Brandon McKnight, who was benched for the start of this game, is in and Kilgore is out, this game alone has been a terrific start for the Illini, rated 13th in the country.
Again, Willie Dean really's got to get his touches. We talked about that in the open. Right now, Purdue trying to do a one-on-one.
Low flashes, and Matt Kiefer follows, and the young freshman out of Evansville with the 2 baskets in the game for Purdue.
But what sets that up is the dribble penetration. Gene Katie really wants them to go to the basket and to create some mismatches down low.
Williams will try another 3. This time their first miss, and rebound Kiefer. Matt Kiefer, his first start for the Boilermakers. Replacing Levant. Cartello in the starting line. This is Booker for 3.
Right now, Purdue, again, just sort of looking for that jump shot. Gene Katie not real happy with that shot selection by Booker.
Pretty easy to fall in love with the threes, that's for sure. McKnight coming over to help out, picks up Illinois' second turnover.
Illinois doing a good job getting back defensively. You see Purdue really trying to push the ball, especially at home, get the crowd involved. And a lot of black jerseys back there.
Purdue did a great job of getting Illinois in foul trouble in the last meeting. And now, 4 minutes in, they draw the first Illinois foul on James Augustine.
And I talked about earlier about Augustine. Averaged only about 18 minutes a game the last 2 games. Really, foul trouble has really hurt him. Here he comes over and doesn't want to give the easy one. And Lowe does a nice job of drawing that contact and then getting to the free throw line.
And it's Lowe who must have a better game for Purdue. Just 4 attempts from the floor against Northwestern. He struggled a bit defensively in terms of picking up fouls, as Lutherhead will get a rest. And I think some of the fouls have worn on him a bit in terms of his offense. Still averages in double figures, but a non-factor the other night on the road where he should have been helpful to Willie Dean.
Well, a lot of times when you're the defensive specialist, when you're the guy that's got to accept that assignment, it affects you on the other end, which is on the offense.
David Teague, sporting a little less hair, comes in the game, and Kenneth Lowe, after the 2 made free throws, checks out. Illinois 11, Purdue 6. Sean Harrington, good-looking three-point shooter for the Illini now in the game. And Brown wants to beat McKnight off the dribble, and Keeper comes over to help out. That Keeper's had a very active 4 minutes.
He's done a nice job on Cook and helping out defensively.
Now Kiefer off the double team, recognizes and finds Willie Dean, who moves on Harrington. Throws up a runner, rebound to Augustine.
That's a tough matchup for Harrington. He's giving up a little speed and quickness to Dean.
Well, you talked about touches. First touch of the game, and a gorgeous pass to Augustine.
Wow. See, again, that ball goes inside. That slasher going to the bucket. Dean is slow in his rotation. It's hard for him to match up against Augustine. He's given up about 6-7 inches.
We've got 5 made baskets for Illinois in this game, and 4 of them by way of assists. Keeper kept that one alive. Booker able to follow, 13-8. And Bill South thought there should have been some pushing inside. Harrington, who had that great game against Minnesota where he had 3 threes in a row. Nice ball movement by the Illini, but this time unable to finish. A rebound to McKnight. Look at the quickness against D. Brown, and a foul called on 11 Brown. And Brandon McKnight can just explode into the front court. Illinois' passing game very effective so far in the first half. That's why they have led from the start. 14-34, and it is 13-8 Illinois.
Good neighbors, and proud sponsor of Jeff Burton. Citgo, we know you.
Securing tuition is my mission. I'm College, Illinois. Prepaid tuition. Buy me when your kids are small. Use me when your kids grow tall. No tuition inflation with prepaid education.
Use me in Illinois or toward tuition at any college, anywhere.
Securing tuition is my mission. I'm College, Illinois. Prepaid tuition.
Every day you're faced with choices. Some affect your livelihood, like which grass herbicide to use. You want one that works hard in the spring, but leaves you with lots of choices later on. That's why you want Option Corn Herbicide. It controls all your major grasses and key broadleaves. And Option gives you choices, like using MSO, the high-performance adjuvant that makes all your post-herbicides perform better. That kind of freedom can really pay off down the road. Option, grass control that puts you in control.
Welcome back to Mackey. Over the last 4 games, Kenneth Lowe has hardly resembled what he did against IU. He's just had 26 points in 4 games, and boy, if he can just get that touchback that he had against the Hoosiers, how much better might Purdue be at this point, Doug?
Well, I think it's important for him. He's got 2 guys out there that really do a great job of dribble penetration. That's Dean and McKnight. So he's got to understand that and get to that open spot. He's an excellent three-point shooter behind the line, and when you've got quickness around you, when you're a good spot-up shooter, hey, get ready to get that ball and put it in the hole. I mean, like you said,
be aggressive. And right now, some words of encouragement from Gonzo Martin. Purdue has the last 4 points of this particular run here. It is 13-8 Illinois. Teague with a jumper from the inbounds pass, and the run now reaches 6 straight.
Good idea by Purdue. Really step it up defensively. Put some pressure on it so Illinois can't run their high-low in their offense with their bread and butter.
Boilermakers win almost 6 minutes without a foul. This is the first one of the game.
Yeah, you see a set play after that timeout. Good screen by Kiefer over there, and then Teague is just, that's what we talk, catch and shoot. Low, he needs to do that. He comes off the bench and able to drop that ball down there, and that's what you need to do when you've got guards around you like Purdue does.
Well, the loss of Teague's hair doesn't affect his shooting so far.
He's not like Sampson, huh?
No. And he's even a little quicker out there. He's picking up Roger Powell. Harrington wanted to get a catch and shoot there. Here's the big man Cook, and boy, can he pass the ball. And despite that, a 3-second violation is spotted.
Yeah, Purdue doing a really good job defensively. When Cook gets the ball, he's so far away from the basket, he really doesn't have a lot of options. He's got to put it on the floor. He can't shoot it, and they've got 2 guys on him. So far, they've done a good job of extending their defense and really clamping him down, especially in the post.
Matt Keeper's not in the game, but it's been his first start that has helped Purdue work its way back into the game. A tough pass inside, and Purdue turns the ball over. And that should not have gone there.
Well, that's one thing Purdue. Purdue can go 11 deep into the bench, so they're going to try to wear down Illinois, bring some fresh bodies, and try to put some pressure on Illinois. Illinois doesn't have that depth. A couple guys are coming off injuries, and Kyle Wilson didn't make it on the trip down here, so they're a little thinner along the bench.
Playing with a couple of guys recovering from injuries as well. Both of them are in the game right now, Nick Smith and... Actually, Luther Head is no longer in, but both Head and Smith are recovering at this point, and in fact, Nick did not practice for most of the week.
He's got a sore foot, but you wouldn't know it here. You see that Battle does a nice job trying to get position on there, and finally, Purdue gets called foul.
Ryan Cook, the All-American player, trying to work against Brett Busher. Cartello able to get Smith out of the way. And Purdue will bring the ball down again, down by just 3. Boilermakers on an 8-2 run, and this was an offensive foul called on Ivan Cartello. And Purdue, which had played a good part of this first half without a foul, now starts to pick them up.
And Gene Cady and the Purdue Boilermakers are saying, well, what happened down here on the other end? You called it on Cartello down there, but what happened on the other end right there? The youngsters saying, hey, give me a break.
Instead, they'll give him a rest. 3 team fouls for Purdue, 2 for Illinois. Brown and McKnight, that's a pretty good matchup to watch tonight. Lowe will make sure that Harrington has no breathing space for his patent threes. Teague came over to block Smith, and it's taken down by Purdue. Basket puts him within 1. A 3 will tie it. Hey! After trailing 13-4, Purdue has caught Illinois. Illini had such a great start shooting the 3. They missed their last 2 3-point attempts, and they missed one inside, and Purdue is making it 1 and out. An open look for the moment for McKnight, who is not a 3-point shooter. They'll skip to Brandon again, who can move nicely along the baseline. And it's out of bounds to Illinois, and we have an under 12-minute timeout. Boilermakers have never led, but they have come back. Good defensive play by Teague. And on the other end, a conversion for 3. We are tied at 13.
Here's an amazing deal. 5 tender, juicy Arby's roast beef sandwiches for just $5.95. 5 great sandwiches, 1 great price. You don't see a deal like this every day.
This is your appetite talking, and this is a tasty alert. You're not gonna believe this, baby.
Right now, 5 Arby's roast beefs are just $5.95.
All that slow roasted beef. So tender, so juicy. And those sauces, that's what you want, baby.
Get 5 Arby's regular roast beef sandwiches for just $5.95, but not for long.
If you want the tasty, you gotta be hasty. Give in to your grown-up taste.
We're there when you need us, securing your yesterdays, todays, and tomorrows. Because you have more important things to think about.
What's up? Come on, give me a hand. How'd shopping go?
Pretty good. Picked up a couple things for dinner.
Great.
Providing life, home, car, and business insurance, and multiple policy discounts. To design a program that's right for you, call your independent auto owner's agent.
See one of our representatives at Whitaker McNamara Insurance, Secret Lease Insurance, or Hollis, Neff, and Bomke Insurance today.
As America moves closer to war, Central Illinois is on the leading edge of new technology that will not only help our troops, but could create the jobs of the future. An exclusive in-depth report, Sunday at 10 on 3 News. Central Illinois' news leader. 3 News. Central Illinois' news leader.
Doug, turnabout is fair play. Illinois started 11-2, then Purdue went on its own 11-2 run, and first half streaks pretty common for the Boilermakers, especially in this house.
Well, and Purdue likes to play up-tempo, and so does Illinois, but when you go on the road, it's tough to play up-tempo against the home team, and I think right now, even though Purdue was down, I think they felt very comfortable with the style of play. Everybody wanted to push the ball up and down, and for Purdue, you can see that finally they hit some knockdown, Teague knocked down some huge three-pointers and got the crowd back in it.
Boilermakers have a slight edge in the rebounding thanks to Matt Kiefer so far. Illinois, after the great start, just one of its last 9. And Lowe gets a foul on Darren Williams, who had such a great game in Champaign back on January 22nd. He was a handful for Purdue. Bill Self's team braved the weather last night by way of bus to travel from Champaign to West Lafayette and is headed back in the same direction this evening. The play of David Teague off the bench, a fearless freshman, as Gene Katie refers to him, pretty important tonight.
And it seems like when those young guys hit that first one early, their confidence just soars, and you can see it with David Teague. He's looking to shoot it every time.
Teague has 7 points. About Teague, Gene Katie said, you know, sometimes he shoots a little too quickly, but he plays such good defense, I have a tendency to forget that and forgive him.
Especially when he's making them.
Yes.
Bad shot, bad shot. Oh, that's a good shot.
Absolutely. Lutherhead, has he completely recovered from the pelvic injury?
I don't think so. I mean, it's just something he's nursing. It only takes, just time, and we'll heal that. And that's not, it's hard to heal when you're in the middle of the season playing a game.
Purdue is doing a nice job of swarming Brian Cook.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting that ball in the corners every time, and he's got to work and get on that post or come up in the middle of the court, in the middle of the lane. He's getting it down by the baseline, so he's really pinning himself in there. He's got to make those adjustments, because even when he does get the ball, Jim, he has to throw it back across the court, and Purdue's able to steal it. So good scouting report by Gene Katie. They've really put the clamps on Brian Cook so far here in the first half.
Big Ten basketball doubleheader next weekend. Purdue is in Columbus in another important game of the conference against the Bucks. That starts at noon Eastern, 11 o'clock Central, and in fact, that is our lone game next week. We'll raise the curtain with Mike Gleason in the Big Ten studios, 12 o'clock Eastern. We greet you tonight from Mackey Arena on the campus of a cold and frigid Purdue University. Jim Barber, Doug Altenberger, but even those who couldn't make it, I think their seats were still filled, Doug.
Yeah, I think there was a call there about an hour to go. Hey, there's some open seats here, even though the weather, and they filled them up. And these fans here are fired up. I mean, there's no snow on the top of this arena. It's melting. This place is hot.
Illinois, anything but hot over the last 4 minutes. How about bringing Brian Cook around the arc and maybe seeing if something might happen up there?
Well, he's getting the ball down low. I think I'd like to bring him back outside. Maybe bring Augustine. Augustine had some success inside early. Maybe have some Cook really having a hard time getting some touches, and when he does, he's down by the baseline, and Purdue's really pinning him in there.
In 9 minutes, Brian Cook has taken only 2 shots and has scored 2 points. Here's Cook outside. Leans in, shoots, and scores.
That was a tough shot.
Exactly like you diagrammed it. Bring him out front. Must have heard me. Such a great weapon for Illinois in a number of areas here. And he has 4 points, and the game is retied at 15. Teague has been smoking so far, and why should he stop now?
Yeah, and Bill Self went to substitute, brought out Landon Ferguson to see if he could slow down Teague, and Teague says, bring him on.
Yeah. Teague shoots 39% from the floor, but he is 4 of 4 so far. Kenneth Lowe called upon to play the big defense, has a look in the corner at Ferguson. Purdue doing some zone activity, but Illinois, after starting 3 for 3 from the arc, has missed its last 3. Lowe, a tough shot over Brown. A look at Booker with the offensive rebound. Darren Williams back the other way. An open Augustine who cuts to the basket. We got a foul spotted by Zelton Steed.
Was one of the few times where Purdue got beat in the transition game, not getting back on defense. They broke down, and Augustine was able to get to the bucket, and Cook was able to draw a foul on the missed shot. A return for Luther Head. Ball goes inside right there. I don't know what. Boy, you know he wants this one, Gene Katie. He can taste it.
Very excited this morning. You were sharing with him some of your moments here at Mackey. Most of them weren't very good, were
No,
they?
they weren't. This place was a nightmare. This is probably the toughest place to win in the Big Ten. I mean, the fans, they really know basketball, and it's a real, the arena only holds 15,000. It's a small arena since the fans are right on top of it.
You played back in the 80s, so you were telling us today at the shoot-around when you arrived, as the foul goes against Purdue, that the crowd was here 2-3 hours before tip-off, all to greet you, I understand.
Yeah, that was when Gene won his first Big Ten championship in '84. We came out here, and 2 hours early, the place was packed, and the fans came out. Big Jim Wawrinski came and did damage to us.
Oh, man. The Big Ten has a 4-0 record today. 76% of the games won on home courts. In the top 5, we showed you the graphic when we started, only one game among the top 5 has been lost on somebody else's court. Somebody's home court.
Great pass. Again, what sets that up was the pressure on the perimeter. Ball was able to get inside a long pass. That left Augustine too slow on the rotation down low.
Nice dish off by McKnight, who did not get the start tonight. He was benched as Demetrius Kilgore came in the starting lineup, and still McKnight's attitude very positive, very spirited about playing this evening.
We talked about the defensive pressure on the perimeter, and then the guards from down low have got to rotate over, but you can't do that when you've extended your defense out there. And you saw where almost Darren Williams got the 5-second call, and the ball goes inside. Purdue here on the other end did a nice job of penetration, getting inside, and Booker, I think, has done a great job on Cook so far. You know, he's about 6'10", 260 pounds, so he's got the beef to stay up with Cook. And if Cook goes on the perimeter, which if you want him to hurt you anywhere, is on the perimeter. Don't let him score down in the post area.
I think Purdue the other night, Doug, learned from Aaron Jennings' performance, in which Jennings was able to pop out and hit a number of threes, and Booker said afterwards, we just couldn't get to him, and they've already done a better job of spotting Cook and staying with him. On the skip, a wide open Kenneth Lowe for three. This game began 11-2 Illinois. It has turned around.
Good job by Booker to read the defense, a double screen. Lowe steps up. We talked about being ready to shoot. There's a prime example of it. Gets the ball, goes up with confidence, and nails the three. But look, give credit to Booker for a nice vision for a big man to get that ball back across the court and find that open man.
We spoke of getting Kenneth Lowe so much more involved tonight that Purdue needed to do that, and already he has a basket with 3 and 2 free throws, 5 points, and that's a much better sign for the Boilermakers off the pass from Booker.
Yeah, I mean, the Boilermakers, they started off slow, but are really shooting the basketball extremely well from the outside. And you've got to get it to the hot guys. Right now, you know, Lowe and Teague are hot. Get those guys, let them get their touches. You know, you'd be surprised right now to be up by this much with Dean 0 for 2 in the game, hasn't scored yet.
And with Wisconsin and Michigan winning today, Purdue must win tonight to stay on top at 8-3 in the Big Ten Conference. Illinois has played one less game, but has the same number of losses as the other three. A bump on Cook. Might be on Brett Busher inside. The Boilermakers now have team foul number 7.
We talked about that help defense. Ball goes inside. Busher does a great job. You see all the gold jerseys all over him. Then they sort of bluff. They go back out. Illinois, once that ball goes into the post, they've got to move. They've got to either slash the basket, get to the open spot. They were standing offensively.
Willie Dean yet to score in this game on just 2 attempts. Ryan Cook, very good free throw shooter at 81%, and Illinois now with 8.5 minutes to work with, Doug. The rest of the half in the bonus, so getting the ball inside, getting some fouls, that certainly would help.
That's the thing about Cook, Jim. He can make you pray. If you foul him, he's such a great free throw shooter, and offensively, you know, has no weakness. He can go on the perimeter or score down low, and he's got great speed and quickness.
Boilermakers back to their original point guard in the game. That's Brandon McKnight. Finding Willie Dean, who leans in, and that's an offensive foul on Willie Dean, and that is number 2 on Dean as he remains scoreless.
He was a little tentative on that shot. Didn't know whether he wanted to take it to the hole or pull up. He sort of went in between, floated in there out of control. Illinois steps up there and takes the charge. And you see right there, throws the towel. Not real happy with his effort here in the first half.
Yeah, I noticed Gene Cady, though, trying to keep him encouraged, came over and said, good job, we're okay, don't worry about it. But a good upside for Illinois as Purdue's best scorer, Willie Dean, is out of the game with 2 fouls and no points.
Well, if you're Purdue, you got to feel pretty good to be up by 2 with so far Willie Dean really struggling offensively. That means the other guys are stepping up, and right now Teague back in the game, and look for him to look for his jump shot.
And Purdue gets the steal off the inbounds. Well, with a look over Harrington. Matt Kiefer got his first start tonight, and he's been pretty effective. That's a spin by Lowe, and a foul call, and one of the conference's best free throw shooters is going to the line.
Well, he did a great job trying to get to the basket. There we see you make a couple jump shots to the perimeter, your confidence goes up, does the spin move on Harrington, draws contact, and when he goes up, he knows how to get to the free throw line. Got to really play. He's a very smart player.
And a very good free throw shooter. And his numbers coming in tonight, 91% from the line.
You don't see that very rare. You know, rarely guys shoot 90% anymore, especially in college basketball. Sort of a lost profession.
2 free throws for Lowe gives him 7 to back up. David Teague's 9.
Purdue coming out with a full court pressure, really surprising Illinois. Illinois having a hard time adjusting here. Got the numbers.
And unable to convert on it, even though they had 3 versus 2. David Teague really getting after Luther Head.
You can see Purdue now starting defensively, really establish himself, extending the defense. Illinois needs to look back door, look inside for Cook. That'll be open inside.
Penetrating his head and throws up a run. Almost got it to foul. Picks up a personal foul. That will be free throws.
And Jim, there's an example. Last year, Luther Head would have blown right around that guy. You can tell that he's struggling a little bit, turning the corner right there. I think it's when he moves laterally what's hurt him. And we talked about Purdue extending their defense. When you do that, you got to make the reads, the adjustments, put the ball on the floor, get in those driving lanes. Guy comes up to help you, look, make that pass.
Even though you have almost 2 weeks off with just 1 game, that's not enough to get healthy, is it?
No, that's something where it might take a couple months to get better. And you know what the thing about it is that you can re-injure it. You can go back out there. It's like a pulled groin muscle. You feel pretty good, and all of a sudden in practice or something, you could tweak it, and then starts all over again.
Luther Head well above his average against Purdue in the last meeting. He had 15 points in that game. And he draws Illinois within 3. 7:35 to go in a pretty important Big Ten Conference game from Katie Court.
No escape. That's what we got with Balanced Pro corn herbicide.
By Purdue, we just... For the Boilermakers, find Brian Cook and defend Brian Cook tonight. How's that going? Well, in the scouting report, you want to shut this guy down. You want to make the other guys in the team beat you. And there's a prime example. Force him out on the perimeter. That's really the only area that you're going to have some success there. He gets himself too far. But here he got in the middle of the court, and that's where he needs to get the ball, where he can pass, drive, penetrate, shoot the shot, triple threat they talk about. He can do all those things. He gets the ball down in that baseline area, and he's able to... Purdue's done a good job keeping them down there. Hasn't been too effective. Coaches like to refer to that baseline as a 6th defender, so when you draw a double team and add that defender part to it, that's almost like a triple team down there. And you're exactly right. And once the ball goes down there, it's hard for him to reverse that basketball. Purdue really quick on the perimeter, so you try to do a cross-court pass, they're going to read that defense like a secondary in football and try to steal it. And force Cook to have to call a timeout moments ago. Lowe firing a 3 on the run, leaves it a bit short, and Harrington and Williams both go for the rebound. A game-tying 3 by Lutherhead. That's his second 3 of the game. He's got 7. We are tied for the 4th time. It looked like Purdue didn't know whether they were in a zone or a man-to-man on that one, because Booker all of a sudden was matched up on head, and he was down on the post area, so good ball reversal, but there was a couple guys that were open on that series. Katie with an earful for Mike Sanzier. Purdue has yet to lose here at Mackey Arena this year, and only once in the history of this fabled building has that happened in an entire season, going undefeated. Meanwhile, Mr. Self, calm, collected. He looks on the outside, on the inside. Let me tell you something. Those coaches go through a lot. Well, the losses eat at them, as you were telling us today, but there haven't been many losses at Illinois. Yeah, I mean, here's a guy that last 4 years is in conference play has had a share of the title. Good recognition by Kilgore as he got very deep into the attack. Again, ball goes in long, goes over the top. Lutherhead does that. Cook comes over. See, now I don't think that's a good foul. I mean, here's your guy, best guy in the country, and he gives up a silly foul like that. Let the other guy give him a foul, and after a while that adds up, and that's what's hurt Brian Cook. He's had some time on the bench in the Big Ten play, but it's critical for him to be out there as much as he can for these young guys. That Cook went almost 14 minutes without a personal foul, but the last time these two teams met, he was on the brink of fouling out. An appearance by Melvin Buckley, who had a couple of threes in limited play in Champaign a month ago. The other big guy is James Augustine, who has 2 fouls, 7 points. Now here's a guy that's leading the Big Ten in field goal percentage and came out hot, and now he's on the bench because he's got 2 fouls. And you just got to learn to play with your feet and with your hands instead of fouling people. That was a gorgeous back door, wasn't it? I mean, that's the big thing about the big men from Illinois. They do a great job of throwing that bounce pass, and that's a tough pass to catch. The thing that stands out tonight, 9 made field goals from Illinois, 7 of them are assisted. And both teams playing really hard, playing well right now. You can see that they're very similar to the game in Champaign. Well-fought game so far. 15 seconds to shoot the ball. And now Booker gives up his dribble to McKnight. And Purdue now finding itself getting inside and drawing some fouls that will result in shooting. We talked about there. I mean, the Harlem Globetrotters don't do any better than that. Cook does a great job of reading the defense and head breaks to the basket. We talked about Purdue really extending their defense, and when you do that, you can go backdoor. That is the option, and it is available. We talked about how many times Purdue got to the free throw line when they met earlier this season. They shot 32, made only 21. Tonight in this game, this is their 10th attempt, and they have made 8 of them. McKnight does a nice job of stepping up, nailing those 2 free throws. Good Big Ten game so far. Lowe essentially drawing the other team's #1 score. Of course, in this case, it's Cook. He'll have a bigger man to confront him. That's Booker at the moment. Roger Powell, good hustle. And the ball comes back to Booker instead. Alvin Buckley wasn't ready for the catch there. McKnight's got that blow-by speed that Rick Pitino of Louisville said, you know, we put 2 guys on him over at Conseco Fieldhouse and still couldn't handle him. The wide receiver in this play is Williams, who makes the catch. And now floats it inside to Powell. And Illinois picks up an offensive foul. Both teams are taking charges tonight. Well, the ball goes inside here. You see Powell trying to force something. Buckley does a good job getting that. I mean, McKnight takes that charge, steps up there. That's what all those little guys can do anyway. They're not like they're going to block the shot or anything. No. Willie Dean yet to score, but he has returned. He has 2 personal fouls for the Boilermakers. They have 4 players with 2 fouls apiece. Illinois, only James Augustine has picked up a couple. Let's see if Dean can start getting some touches, as you emphasized at the beginning. Yeah, he just seems not to be too involved offensively. He doesn't look to score. I mean, he's going to be aggressive. Take that ball to the basket. Try to get to the free throw line. If you're struggling from the perimeter, sometimes getting the free throw line, making a couple of those, you regain your confidence. McKnight crossing over and scoring. What a pretty move. Yeah, he throws Harrington on that one. Harrington locked up, and McKnight read that, steps up, and hits another big jump shot. And on the overplay, a foul called on Booker, intended for Brian Cook. And so Booker with the personal foul. And that's his second. Yeah, here you see they get caught on the switch. McKnight was guarded by D. Brown, and Harrington steps up, and he does a crossover, freezes him, and knocks down the jump shot. So far, Purdue really doing a good job taking what the defense has given them, and they've stepped up, hit some big jump shots here with some hands in their face. Cook a slow start tonight, but he is picking up points from the free throw line. That's his 7th. And Brett Busher with a return to the lineup for Purdue. And that's the thing about Brian Cook. I mean, not just one guy can guard this guy. You're going to have to throw 2 or 3 guys at him, and a couple guys might foul out. He makes a lot of guys look like silly on defense, but when he's 6'10", he plays so long and gets that ball inside. He's able to read the defense, and he'll take it to you, and he knows how to draw fouls and get to the free throw line. And those 2 made free throws draw Illinois back within 1, 28-27. I think the pace of play is a little better for now for Illinois. They've slowed it down. You know, Purdue tried to push it, and now it's just slowed down to a typical half-court Big Ten game. Bodies banging everywhere. In the NCAA, it's a half-court that these teams will see a lot of. Under 4 minutes for the first half. Illinois got out to that electrifying start with 3 made threes and an 11-2 start. Cook over Busher. Nice, pretty soft touch, no problem. Yeah, and that's tough for Busher. Busher really doesn't have the size, only 6'8", and Brian Cook's almost 7 feet tall, so he's given up 3-4 inches, and Cook realizes that, goes right over the top of it. McKnight on the penetration, and Illinois is having a little difficulty staying with him. Yeah, he's really responded. Gene Katie's brought him off the bench, and he's looking to play. I mean, he's playing hard right now. Harrington off the screen out top. Misses. Rebound Dean. He can go end to end if he has to. Yeah, Lowe just took a blow. I mean, he went down hard on that screen from the big man from Illinois. Buckley posting down low, and Busher able to get it back and score. Great effort by Busher. I mean, he really stays with it. Loose ball. See how he stays with it, goes underneath the basket, and Cook is too late there, and then he compounds it by fouling with a second foul. Busher was on the left side of that basket when that happened, and he just beat everybody else to the ball. Yeah, you got to love that effort right there. Gene Katie's got to be shaking his hand right now and going crazy. I mean, that's the kind of effort he needs out there. We'll play on with 3 minutes left in the first half. Next dead ball, we'll do a timeout with Purdue leading 32-29. Williams penetrating to Harrington, but Harrington has missed his first 2 3-point attempts. Yeah, Harrington really struggling in Big Ten play. He's only shooting 29%. He had a hot game against Minnesota. He was 6 for 9, but other than that, he was really 11 for 38 since then, and he has struggled with his jump shot. Willie Dean continues to struggle. 3 shots taken, no points in this game, and yet Purdue is ahead by 3. The other night, they dug a hole without Willie. Good penetration by Darren Williams. Well done. And McKnight right now not real happy with the big men from Purdue because Smith set a screen and just about leveled them, and that's how Darren Williams got open for that slasher.
We now join our regularly scheduled.
Surprise Purdue up without Dean contributing. Now other guys have stepped up. I mean, this is a solid team. They have a lot of balance offensively. They've got a lot of weapons. This was a very competitive game when they met a few weeks ago, and this one's shaping up to be just as much as that one. Powell on the catch down low against Buckley. Buckley tried to take a charge, and as Powell goes for the rebound, Brett Busher is going to get his second foul. And what's happening for Purdue is they have quite a collection of guys with at least a couple of personals. Well, we talked about them having 11 guys can play, and they're going to use all 11 guys tonight. Here you see Buckley tries to go down, draws the charge, but nowhere. But Powell had position there, and Bush goes right over the top, not happy with the call. But you know, here's a guy, Roger Powell, who played extremely well beginning of the season, had a toe injury, and has struggled in the Big Ten play, but finally came out of hibernation. And the coaching staff talked about his confidence is back after they have a nice game against Ohio State at home earlier in the week. In that game, he had 14 points in just 21 minutes, and in fact, it was 5 of 5 from the floor. 5's the big number right now. 5 ties in this game. Same amount of lead changes as we approach a minute and a half. Kiefer gets the double team. Blocked by Smith. Nick Smith with the block as Powell helped out as well. A long skip to Harrington out of bounds. Illinois on defense. He's been injured lately, but Nick Smith's starting to come out of it. That's Flash brought to you courtesy of Balance Pro Corn Herbicide. Can't get much more even than that, I think. Yeah, I think Bill Self and Gene Cady have got to be really happy with the effort both teams. I mean, on both ends of the court, you know, both teams are selling out. Guys coming off the bench is playing terrific. That's Stats Flash brought to you by Balance Pro, the power of recharge. Where do these two teams match up? I mean, it was this way in Champaign, and both teams defensively will get after it. They'll make some shots on the perimeter, and they don't give you anything inside. And it's just your typical Big Ten contest so far. Maybe they'll see each other again in Chicago for a third meeting. And that Chicago tournament, the Big Ten postseason tournament, not too far away. Yeah, Willie Dean really has been shut down. And he got the 2 fouls early in the first half. So far, just hasn't been able to get into the flow, but Barry does a nice job getting the ball to the basket and drawing the foul, getting the free throw line. And Dean had a problem scoring the other night against Northwestern. His shot way off there. He was just 1 of 8 shooting in the first half before he scored 19. So maybe Willie's in a bit of a valley as Darren Williams steps out with his 2 personal fouls. He averages 18 a game. He has scored his first. Kilgore for Dean. DK got his first start tonight. A good idea by Gene Cady. Get Willie Dean off on the defensive end, get him in there, and then if there's another break in the action, get him back out on the offensive end. Don't want to get that 3rd foul. Dee Brown trying to work around some screens out front. Here's Harrington. Lutherhead trying to put his move on low. Shot clock finding its way down to 10. Good defense by Purdue in the interior. 33 for the Boilermakers, 32 for Illinois. Boy, Nick Smith really hurting out there. You can see this foot is really bothering him right now. He's laboring out there. Having a hard time moving around, but he's got a big heart. He's giving it all he's got right now. Did not practice Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of this week. As the Boilermakers take a 30-second timeout. Just about everybody in the top 10 played today, including a game that started at 11 in the morning in the West. Arizona bopping USC as the Cats are going to stay number 1. I thought this was a great game. Louisville Marquette.
Oh, what a huge shot Louisville hit down the stretch. That was an NBA three-pointer.
Kentucky and Louisville are really capturing the hearts of the state of Kentucky this year. A surprise? Maybe. Gators have had trouble in Tennessee in the past. Bob Knight's Texas Tech team recently night over 800 all-time wins. And I like the Texas Longhorns. You see them on Big Monday a lot. Had a great game at Oklahoma recently. There were some surprises today. Pitt among those, losing against the Hall. Imagine what the Carrier Dome was like today, Doug, for that one. Woo. Xavier was a team that beat Purdue earlier this year. And last week, David West scored 47 in the game.
The thing about Purdue, they've had a really, really tough schedule. 17th toughest schedule in the country by Saginaw. So these guys are tournament tested right here. They know Gene Katie didn't take the pre-Big Ten off. I mean, he came at these guys hard, and these guys know what it takes to win against good teams.
Nick Smith not very happy with the things happening here.
Illinois has done a good job. Brian Cook got in foul trouble. They've been able to keep it, keep it close here. One or three at half going in there with Brian Cook with 2 fouls. Got to feel pretty good going in.
2 points this evening for Kilgore, both from the free throw line. Brian Cook re-enters the game. He has 10 points. He also has 2 fouls. But the idea is use him in the final possession on offense. Or Illinois with a 3 can tie the game. Purdue will insert Ivan Cartello for defensive purposes.
They got a little chess match going on
Sure.
here. Bill Self puts one in. Gene Katie puts one in. Love to see that.
Playing with the Rooks of the Knights here, or well, they even considers themselves a pawn, I hope. Steve Brown against McKnight. 5 seconds. Cook wide open to tie the game. And the first half is over, and a pretty good first half as well. Both teams shooting 40%, the rebounding pretty identical, and Purdue with a small but significant lead at 35-32 behind, 9 points from backup David Teague.
Come on, Joey, let's have some of Grandma's old recipe ice cream.
Wow, it sure looks good.
It is, Joey. There's a whole world of wonderful flavors in her old recipe ice cream. It starts with fresh cream and cane sugar, then in go all kinds of other great tasting treats.
Gosh, did Grandma make it herself?
Of course not, Joey. She goes to the store and buys it like everybody else.
Taste the premium quality of old recipe ice cream from Prairie Farms.
Honey, you gonna make that call?
When you call Country Insurance and Financial Services, the unexpected will happen.
Hello, thank you for calling.
Hello? Business.
You'll actually talk to a real person.
I didn't think you'd answer as quickly.
Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick.
This is my country.
Every year, Ward's Dealer Business Magazine ranks the top 500 dealerships in the country, domestic and import. Of the top 7 ranked in Illinois, there was only one downstate dealer, Miles Chevy Nissan. Award-winning service, great selection, and low prices make Miles Central Illinois' #1 choice.
Hi, this is Pat Dawson. Take the short drive to Decatur to Miles Chevy Nissan, downstate Illinois' #1 volume dealer.
Time for our halftime report from ESPN Plus. Home is where the wins are today in the conference. So far, Purdue leading at the break 35-32. The rest of the league today, the home teams dominated. Indiana had a 10-point lead in the first half before Wisconsin came back. Iowa keeping Penn State winless in the league with an 84-71 win today at Carver Hawkeye. Michigan and their fab freshmen blew out Ohio State, and a career high for Calvin Torbert in a game you saw today on our regional coverage, 64-51 Michigan State over Northwestern. So because of that, we still have quite a conference race going on. 4 teams with the same amount of losses. Minnesota has the day off. And Michigan State and Iowa still hanging around. A win tonight by Illinois would be a monster because most of the top 5, well, winning at home, that's required. Winning on the road, it's difficult.
Come to the New Balance store. 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 You fit right in. Come to the New Balance store. You fit right in. Come to the New Balance store. You fit right in.
Visit the new Balance CU store by Heel to Toe in downtown Urbana.
May I take your custom furniture order?
At Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries, we've taken the idea of fast custom orders and brought it home. Right now, choose your style of sofa, love seat, or chair. Then choose from over 300 gorgeous custom fabrics at no extra cost.
Order during custom order days and we'll even deliver fast.
At Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries, you can order up exactly what you want.
I'll take that one.
This is your appetite talking, and this is a tasty alert. You're not gonna believe this, baby.
Right now, 5 Arby's roast beefs are just $5.95.
All that slow roasted beef. So tender, so juicy. And those sauces, that's what you want, baby.
Get 5 Arby's regular roast beef sandwiches for just $5.95, but not for long.
If you want the tasty, you gotta be hasty. Give in to your grown-up taste.
You know, when I was a young man, riding a Harley-Davidson motorcycle, oh, that's all I could think of. I mean, that open road, that rumbling engine, the wind in my face.
You had a Harley?
No, I never got it. I spent the money on aluminum siding instead.
Let's go see what Grandma's doing.
See Gutteridge Harley-Davidson in Danville, Kozire Harley-Davidson in Forsyth, and Andres Harley-Davidson in Urbana.
The following preview has been rated cash back for everyone. In a world where 0% is not enough, and the future unfolds before your very eyes. Time is limited, and the fate of millions rests on $500 to $1,000 bonus cash. Choose $2,500 to $4,000 total cash back, or 0% financing and $500 to $1,000 bonus cash on select models. It's a story of power, passion, and a family's quest for safety. $500 to $1,000 bonus cash on top of current incentives. The future is now.
Purdue is 14-1. We're leading at halftime. That's where they stand right now over Illinois. Let's hear now from our fine 2 Big Ten institutions and a word from the Big Ten Conference.
Looking for who else? Dean for the lead. That's it. That's James. Good feed inside. Gets it back for a red for 3.
Denominator.
A new partnership between Purdue University and the Indianapolis Public Schools is encouraging underrepresented kids to go to college.
Isn't it interesting to feel all those little legs on you?
Science Bound, the program initiated by Purdue President Martin Jischke, gives IPS students an opportunity to earn a full scholarship to Purdue to study for a career in engineering, science, math, technology, or science or math education.
That's good technique.
Science-bound director Julia Haynes says the program mentors the students during 7th through 12th grades.
Many of the kids don't always have the opportunity to go to the university. We would like to open the opportunity for them to come to Purdue, to see the fun and the future in science, engineering, and technology.
Susan Miller, IPS teacher and science-bound mentor, says Science-bound attempts to provide new opportunities for these traditionally underrepresented students.
Unfortunately, a lot of these students would not go to college. They would not think of themselves as someone who would go to college. They want to become more, and that, as a teacher, it lifts your heart every day you see them.
Science Bound means a lot to me because it's giving me the opportunity to go to a college and experience a lot of new things.
It's a great opportunity for my career, see
what I can do with my career, what I'm going to do with my life.
My hope is our science-bound program will help us encourage lots of young people to pursue an education here at Purdue, and that some of them will go on to be great scholars, and I hope we'll uncover some of that kind of talent in this science-bound process, and in doing so, make Purdue a better university, make the IPS schools better schools, make the state of Indiana a better state, and ultimately make our country and world a better place. That's our dream for science-bound.
And you thought it would be better on top. Why did you say that?
Our halftime continues with a look at the first half highlights and numbers. And we'll set you up for the second half when Doug and I return at the break. Purdue 35, Illinois 32.
Every day you're faced with choices. Some affect your livelihood, like which grass herbicide you use. You want one that works hard in the spring, but leaves you with lots of choices later on. That's why you want Option Corn Herbicide. It controls all your major grasses and key broadleaves. And Option gives you choices, like using MSO, the high-performance adjuvant that makes all your post-herbicides perform better. That kind of freedom can really pay off down the road. Option, grass control that puts you in control.
$7,000 off
at O'Brien's University Auto Parts.
2003 Chrysler Town & Countries with $3,500 rebates, $2,000 off.
Plus, put $750 down and Chrysler will match it to $1,500.
That's $7,000 off.
800 new and certified best used vehicles, all priced to sell.
Including 0% financing on Camrys, America's best-selling car.
And 60 months 0% financing on select new Mazdas and Chryslers.
Only at O'Brien's University Auto Parts, Urbana.
Is your bank getting between you and your money? At Central Illinois Bank, we make sure you and your money come first. When you compare the people, service, and products at CIB, you'll know why we're one of the fastest-growing commercial banks in Illinois. Our commitment to you is to meet your changing banking needs with premier business and personal services. Every day at Central Illinois Bank, we help move you and your money closer to your dreams. Central Illinois Bank, convenient locations throughout Illinois.
Bill Self called it the biggest game of the season, and with that in mind, it's one of the more competitive ones. Purdue leading 35-32. Jim Barber along with Doug Altenberg. About what you might have expected tonight?
Yeah, I mean, Purdue, it's a great bench play. David T comes off the bench and is perfect on the field. And Illinois lack a bench play. They're looking for somebody to step up and help out the starters.
All right, let's show you some first half highlights. We'll begin with Illinois as we take a look at the country insurance and financial first half highlights.
Yeah, Illinois did a good job of ball movement. When Augustine went in there, was very effective, got 2 fouls, and then he was on the bench. Luther had stepped up. And even though he's got a pelvic injury, he's looking good offensively. And for Purdue, we talked about their bench play, but great defense, great hustle. Gene Katie's got to be really excited about all the guys coming off the bench and just getting the job done. And we talked about David Teague just coming off, and we had the hot hand in the first half. Played only 7 minutes, but had 9 points. So his efficiency rating off is going to be pretty high.
All right, Doug, let's look at the first half stats brought to you by College Illinois, 529. Prepaid tuition plan. The bench points are really dominant by way of Purdue.
Yeah, and you know, we talked about Illinois. I mean, Harrington really struggling from the outside, and the rest of the guys, Smith, injured foot, and Roger Powell, 0 for 3. So they need some help on the bench there. But Purdue doing a great job of stepping up, and as Willie Beam struggled in the first half, and everybody contributing.
3-point lead despite that. Those are your first half stats brought to you by College Illinois, where you can lock in the cost of tuition and fees today, protecting you against future tuition inflation. Brian Cook leads Illinois with 10, and David Teague tops Purdue with 9. We'll come back with the second half.
Bye.
I love Sponsors 8.
I like Cy because he's big, blue, and funny.
Hey, you're good.
I'm watching you, Wazowski. Isn't that nice? When Mike sprays something in his eye, he goes, ah!
This would make a fabulous holiday gift.
You call yourself a monster?
Disney Pixar's Monsters, Inc. Now available on DVD and video.
I buy all of my DVDs and videos at Walmart.
I'm feeling good today, Mikey.
It's time to meet your match at the Chrysler National Minivan event, where we'll match your down payment up to $750 and give you a $3,500 cash allowance for a total of $5,000 toward your down payment on the luxurious Town & Country. Or get 0% APR financing for 60 months and make no monthly payments for 90 days. Plus, get Chrysler's 770 Powertrain Limited Warranty. These are the best deals of the year, so hurry. Make your match at your Chrysler dealer today.
Hungry for something different? Try the DQ Chicken Strip Basket served with crispy fries and Texas toast for just $3.99. And when it's time for a treat, you still can't beat the original Blizzard. Getting hungry? DQ's something different.
It's official. Miles is Illinois' #1 volume GM certified dealer. And to celebrate, Miles is having an indoor certified celebration. Get financing as low as 3.9%, plus a 3-month, 3,000-mile warranty and a 3-day money-back guarantee on every certified vehicle. This week, get this certified 02 Cavalier for only $8,888. Or how about this certified 2000 Blazer 4-door 4-wheel drive for just $14,995. No other GM dealer in Illinois sells more GM certified vehicles than Miles Chevyland, Route 51 North in Pershing, Decatur.
Otherwise, Illinois has its original 5. Let's see if Purdue can get Dean loose in the second half. He failed to get a field goal in the first. Booker on the catch and turn, and Cook gets that out of the sky. Ryan Cook halfway to his scoring average with 10 in the first half. He works inside, trying to get loose from Booker. This is D. Brown. And Heck keeps it alive with a tip over McKnight. Augustine, who can pop out and hit that 3. Instead, he finds Cook inside, and Bryan missed it.
Couple good looks by Illinois, not able to, nothing goes down for them, but offensively, running what they want and getting the looks that they want.
Illinois trailed at the half by 3. This game began with a great Illinois start at 11-2.
And give Illinois guards credit. What they're doing on Darren Williams and D. Brown, they're taking turns on Willie Dean. One gets it down, one gets tired, another one switches off. And these are young guys, and Illinois second in the country in field goal percentage defensively. So they're going to get after you defensively. Willie Dean's got to know that and sort of adjust his game and be a little more offensively, be more productive, or make something happen. The rest of the guys, they can't live off of the rest of the guys on the team. It's not fair to them.
Tough pass for Cook from head, and it's a turnover. Illinois 11. McKnight on the run with nowhere to go. Booker, keeper. This is a freshman. This is Matt Kiefer. If you're not familiar with him, you're going to hear a lot about him.
The freshman played well in the first half. He had 4 rebounds and played terrific defense. He's really holding his own out there.
A 19-1 edge for the Purdue bench.
That does a nice job of getting to the open spot, able to pick up that ball. A lot of traffic in there, and that was a tough fall-away hook shot. And able to put that down. So, like I said, in the first half, he played great as a freshman, going up there, even though he's going against the senior, Brian Cook.
Williams on the drive to the basket. And back the other way for Purdue, the 12th Illinois turnover. Bill Self's team off to a rough start to start the second half there.
Yeah, I mean, they real critical that you come out, and especially on the road, and be able to hit a couple shots. Right now, Illinois struggling offensively.
That's a 3 for Kiefer. A little strong off the back iron. Rebound to D. Brown.
Boy, that thing goes down. The roof would have came off the post.
The entire gene pool standing from the beginning would have been really into that one. Augustine, a little high-low action to Cook. A tough catch, but he finds through their head. And Illinois having trouble, but Augustine just blocked everybody out. On the other end to lead for Booker. And broken up nicely. Good play by D. Brown. Katie hollering at Eugene Crawford. Thought a foul should have been spotted. Tough catch and a foul called on Purdue, or no, out of bounds. Remaining in the hands of Illinois.
But we had a little hiccup there, intensity while everybody came out, and then now Gene, Katie, Bill Self, both teams are really getting riled up. They're getting back into the... Talked about Augustine really having a good first half. What hurt him was fouls. Had 2 early, but he had a lot of success early.
Off the inbounds, Illinois cuts the lead to 1, 37-36.
But as soon as one team gets a little bit of lead, the other team is able to respond and tie it up. What a close-knit game so far.
Biggest lead of the game for Purdue has been 5, for Illinois 9.
I see Illinois really switching on defense. They can do that when they've got the 3 guards.
Booker, a little hop step inside, draws a foul. This Booker, in a game with Penn State, had 4 3-pointers, not 3-point shots, the traditional 3-pointers, basket and 1.
Well, I like this guy. He gives Purdue some presence down low. He can score. He's big, strong, and physical. And he understands the system what Gene Katie is putting in. Doesn't force a lot of shots. And able to get the 3rd foul on Augustine. So Augustine makes a basket on the other end, and he's frustrated right now. Thought he played good defense.
The bench numbers have been pretty awesome for Purdue in this game. A 17-1 edge. Doug, you talked about Purdue being deeper, but I don't think Illinois imagined that significant of a difference in this game so far.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, Illinois usually has a strong bench themselves, but Purdue has really stepped it up. Fortunately for them, because Willie Dean has struggled.
Cook topped out, doesn't need much of a breather to get a look. And a rebound to Illinois or Purdue, and they come down on a break, and McKnight. Wow. Is he fast or what?
He's really explosive. Does a great job in the transition game. When he gets in that open court, he's unstoppable.
Purdue had so much difficulty moving the ball last year and defending people without McKnight and without Lowe. What a difference a year has made. Williams just can't get loose. And Illinois is going to have to hurry. Taken down by Keeper, saved to Willie Dean. Outstanding defense by the Boilermakers. They'll try to make this their largest lead. And a foul called on the Illini. The Boilermakers of Purdue have a 5-point lead. A win tonight puts them back on top with 2 others.
Securing tuition is my mission. I'm College, Illinois. Prepaid tuition. Buy me when your kids are small. Use me when your kids grow tall. No tuition inflation with prepaid education.
Use me in Illinois or toward tuition at any college anywhere.
Oh, securing tuition is my mission. I'm College, Illinois. Prepaid tuition.
I told Bill to use Balance Pro herbicide early. From burn down through canopy, nothing keeps fields cleaner.
So I tried incorporating Balance on one of my fields.
Each time it rained, he saw proof that Balance Pro works.
I saw it recharge. Even when some grass and broadleaf weeds emerged later, Balance Pro got them.
Start your season up to 30 days before planting with Balance Pro early. America's fastest growing tree herbicide for corn. Want more proof? Visit balanceproof.com.
Now I use Balance Pro on all my fields.
Isn't 60 to 0 as important as 0 to 60? You decide at your Volvo retailer.
Take it till the sun goes
Doug, Illinois comes in rated 13th in the ESPN USA Today top 25 poll. The reason being is their 3 freshmen have been pretty terrific this year.
Yeah, and they don't play like freshmen. There you see their numbers. I mean, the number, and you always tell how good you're playing by the number of minutes that you play. And Bill Self loves these guys. And here, see their numbers tonight, and they're playing great defense. Augustine numbers will probably even be better, but he's had foul trouble. But the guards have done a great job on Willie Dean.
Williams typically not a scorer, but does have a number of assists and rebounds this evening. Dean, that's a long 3. And a little takedown inside as Harrington and Lowe go to battle, and Kenneth Lowe shaken up. He was grabbing his right elbow initially.
Yeah, he landed right on that elbow, went down, and Harrington fell right on top of him. And that elbow, that funny bone.
Nothing funny about it either, is there?
No, not at all.
3rd foul on Sean Harrington, who has yet to score in this game. The lead is 5. They'll drop it down to Cartello, and he'll have a look. Ivan Cartello, reverse layup. How about that?
I think he surprised everybody. Everybody backed off. They were going to help him out. And then when he did that, he was like Stretch Armstrong. He kept going.
And the lead now is 7. Those are bonus points from Cartello. Smith comes back to answer. Well, he's hobbling out there, but he's playing as hard as he can.
Oh, he's really hurting out there. You can see him running up and down the court. Again, McKnight, boy, he is really quick, and if you just leave him open for a minute, he'll just make you pay the price.
I want to go back to something I talked about earlier about McKnight and his speed. I mean, if Rick Pitino of Louisville, rated number 2 in the country, is impressed and had guys who couldn't handle him, it's pretty evident that McKnight is going to be difficult to deal with in his remaining years at Purdue. Cook's got an open 3. Brian Cook from the arc is 0 of 3.
Boy, the defensive effort that Purdue's just putting on Illinois right now is very impressive. Gene Katie's got to be just ecstatic. I mean, these guys, it doesn't matter who he brings off the bench. I mean, they are just getting after you defensively, and Illinois is having a hard time staying up with that energy.
Katie, the nice focus of a story in USA Today earlier in the week by Malcolm Moran, and the emphasis was that Katie had not lost a step in his coaching. And in fact, now that he's got 2 of his best players back, and the re-emphasis on defense that they're right where people wanted them to be.
Well, he's got Willie Dean. I mean, he's got a senior leader, and you need those guys. It seems like all the teams up in the Big Ten, whether Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois, Purdue, they've got a 4-year senior in there who's providing good, strong leadership. You know, Willie Dean's not scoring a lot tonight, but he's still out there. He's still, you know, out there telling guys what to do. Right now, he gets, you know, one of his few mistakes defensively. Offensively, he hasn't done too well, but doesn't get back.
Well, he had to stop the one-man fast break, as they call D. Brown. That's not easy. Illinois from the free throw line now 6 for 9. Busher, Teague in for Dean and Booker. Purdue leading this game by 7, although the second leading scorer in the conference, Willie Dean, has 1 point.
That's what I was talking about, the bench play and guys stepping up and really bailing out Willie Dean. I mean, Gene Katie's just got to be ecstatic with those guys. Those guys, you know, a lot of times when you're on the bench, you don't know if you're ready to play or not, but tonight these guys were.
That's a basket and one coming up for Kenneth Lowe. Off the pass from Austin Parkinson. And it's been a nightmare for Sean Harrington. He hasn't scored tonight. He has 4 fouls.
It comes out, get the laser screen, tries to go over the top. Busher does a good job of moving his feet, and then he compounds it by fouling after the shot.
Terrence Howard will come in the game for Harrington. Purdue's lead has reached 9 with 13-17 left.
And it's key for these guys right here. Harrington for Illinois, Powell and Luther Head. Those guys have been in the war. They've been in the trenches. You can't expect these freshmen from Illinois to carry you, especially on the road.
After some subpar games, Kenneth Lowe is at double figures with 10. And this 11-3 run has taken Purdue from +1 to +9. Cook trying to get position inside to Busher, calling for the ball. And a hold is going to be called on Brett Busher. But defending Brian Cook inside, that's not easy.
Well, that's his 4th foul, and you see he really has a hard time. I mean, he doesn't have the size to stay up with them, and he gets caught with his hands on. He can't believe it. He says, I just got in the game.
And unfortunately, he's going to get a rest with 4 fouls. Matt Kiefer, who started tonight for Purdue and has played very well. In your picture with 6 rebounds and 6 points. Kilgore was the other starting change, and he is back in. The Illini had the hot start in this game, but Purdue erased that. Through a good stretch in the first half. Parkinson with a rebound, and he dribbles out of trouble and finds Teague, who is open. And for David Teague, that's his first miss.
Boy, Purdue, again, doing a great job getting back defensively.
Good catch by Smith down low, but he walked.
I mean, Austin Parkinson comes out of nowhere from the top. Smith tries to get the shot off, but he's just a second slow, but it's that defense, the collapsing defense in the second half for Purdue has really made a difference. See how he makes that dribble, Jim? Nowhere to go. All he does is allow the defense to come over and help out. It's too late. And it's tough on the road right there. You can see him.
Purdue has forced 13 Illinois turnovers, 3 here in the second half. And also has made the most of those 13 turnovers. Kilgore on the handoff at the free throw line with a fake. And Purdue will now go back to play defense. Katie's saying to himself, what was that? We don't teach that here.
He's a human highlights film on that sideline. He really is animated. His teams are back playing with pride and toughness. That's one thing about Purdue. I mean, you play them against these guys.
Approaching 5 minutes for Illinois with just 1 basket, Doug. Had trouble hanging on the ball.
Well, it's that defensive pressure right now. Now they're starting to look very rushed offensively. Not as relaxed as they were in the first half. They're able to get what they want, basically.
Good defensive play by Darren Williams. Much smaller than Kiefer, but able to poke away the interior pass. Brown exploding. The Illini just having a heck of a time finishing. In the second half, Illinois has scored 7 points. Here's David Teague, gets inside. Well, Illinois is fortunate. Purdue has had a number of opportunities to kick into double figures. The Illini, they've got to find some offense.
Well, they've got to get the ball inside to Brian Cook. They've got to pound the ball inside. They're trying to rely too much on the outside. But that's because Purdue done a great job collapsing defensively.
Still plenty of time, and the Illini find themselves down 9. Over the last 6 minutes, and they find themselves down 9 at 48-39. If Brian Cook can start doing what he has done in other games, watch out Purdue.
Yeah, he single-handedly carried Illinois over Michigan, 26 second half of points, so they're going to need something from him here right now.
Cook also had a game at Minnesota where he had 25 points and 11 rebounds. One of the reasons he is #1 in scoring and in the top 10 in a number of other areas. But tonight, in the second half, he has been frustrated. Credit Purdue with that. Augustine has foul trouble. He's got to be careful. And a bad cross-court pass by Illinois. Parkinson, beautiful pass to Lowe. And free throws coming up for Kenneth Lowe.
You know, Augustine has played really well in this game so far. And when he's come out, it has hurt Illinois. He gets back in the game and then gets drawn for his 4th foul. I mean, just went back in there. Again, talked about smart fouls. And he's given some fouls that, you know, that really have hurt the team. And Lowe, you know, Lowe's the type of guy who's going to draw that contact, get to that free throw line. You got to play a little bit smarter than that.
Kenneth Lowe talked earlier this season about how much better this team gets along. In fact, doing a lot of outside activities besides basketball, going to movies together. I said, what about the young guys that they're taking to the veterans? He says, sure, but the problem is that they ask a lot of questions. You get tired of them sometimes, but I guess I was like that too.
Well, you know, they went to Europe, and there's, you know, companies going these team-building things. Nothing helps your chemistry better than going somewhere overseas as a team, and you guys really connect, and you can see that these guys playing as a cohesive unit right now, picking each other up, and they've got the chemistry going for them.
And Illinois has nothing going for them in terms of shooting. Purdue's lead at 11, 50-39. They started the second half just up by 3. Booker has to come out a little bit for the pass from Parkinson. Austin Parkinson off the bench this year for Purdue. Running the show for the moment. And they'll have to make something happen quickly. Almost beat the clock. Can Illinois find some answers here, find some points? Who's going to step up? It has been 7 minutes with just 1 basket. Well, Doug, you talked about how things got started early for Purdue back in May, and the reason they were practicing then was for an opportunity to go to Europe. That chemistry has carried over with a number of teams, dating back to one of Gene's earliest in '83. And this team certainly is in position to win the Big Ten Conference. We'll see if that happens, of course.
Well, and I can identify, we went to Yugoslavia my sophomore year, and we came back and tied for the Big Ten Championship with Purdue. And it just seems you go on those trips, and there's another traveling call. You're starting to see Illinois really getting frustrated offensively. Purdue is just putting the clamps on here in the second half.
Illinois will take a timeout. All these empty possessions are killing the Illini. 9:33 left. Purdue by 11.
What does totally free mean to me? If it's totally free checking, it should be totally free with no minimum balance and no monthly fees. But for me, it means total convenience. Fifth Third Bank's totally free checking delivers free unlimited Fifth Third Genie ATM usage and free 24-hour online banking. Total convenience. Visit any one of your local Fifth Third banking centers and check it out for yourself. Totally free checking from Fifth Third Bank.
Every day you're faced with choices. Some affect your livelihood, like which grass herbicide to use. You want one that works hard in the spring, but leaves you with lots of choices later on. That's why you want Option Corn Herbicide. It controls all your major grasses and key broadleaves. And Option gives you choices, like using MSO, the high-performance adjuvant that makes all your post-herbicides perform better. That kind of freedom can really pay off down the road. Option, grass control that puts you in control.
It's time to meet your match at the Chrysler National Minivan event, where we'll match your down payment up to $750 and give you a $3,500 cash allowance for a total of $5,000 toward your down payment on the luxurious Town & Country. Or get 0% APR financing for 60 months and make no monthly payments for 90 days. Plus, get Chrysler's 770 Powertrain Limited Warranty. These are the best deals of the year, so hurry. Make your match at your Chrysler dealer today.
Rod Cardinal in his 30th and final season with the University of Illinois as their head athletic trainer. He is the father of former Purdue great Brian Cardinal. Rod's got a pretty good winning record over the years, over 900-plus games. And, in fact, was presented with one of Brian's old jerseys as a surprise when he reached the hotel last night. He was very touched by it. His son, by the way, is partying with Michael Jordan tonight on Michael's 40th at the Waldorf Astoria in Washington, D.C.
It must be rough. Must be rough.
Imagine being on the guest list for that. That said, we can't wait to hear tomorrow about all the highlights from it. Marion Rod's certainly proud of Brian's efforts, and hopefully Rod will stay on with the University of Illinois in some part-time administrative capacity.
Yeah, he's touched so many guys' lives on the basketball team and other athletes in the football area. That's a good move by Ron Gunther, the AD at Illinois, to keep him on there and keep him in touch with the rest of the guys.
Absolutely. Illinois finally with a basket in the second half, just shooting 30% and for the game at 36.
Well, if Illinois can put a run together here, get it down into a couple baskets, and after the really poor first half, very bad shot by Kilgore right there. They don't need that right now.
Gene Katie just kind of looked down at the ground for the moment. Purdue has made a number of stops here in the second half. Illinois looking to get something going to a triple team, and Cook made the move. However, Mike Sanzier spotted something before that happened and said Cook was pushed on the baseline.
Boy, again, you see all those jerseys down there. Ball goes down low. And it looks like, I don't know how he got behind that out-of-bounds line there. He stepped on it right there, but it looks like he tiptoed right through it. But that's his patented move. You know he likes to spin move on the baseline. And scouting report, I'm sure Gene Katie and the staff said, hey, let's try to seal that off. They did that in the first half. Here in the second half, one of the few times that he's able to get loose.
Cook had 22 points when they first met. He's got 12 tonight. They'll need his offense to have a chance here. Good penetration there. Ball is still loose, and the ball will now go over to Purdue.
Boy, they just cannot buy a bucket right now. Illinois really struggling offensively. There was a good chance for them, and they just weren't able to put it down. But again, Purdue, a lot of hands in there, very active, sacrificing their body, playing that Gene Katie type basketball.
And I don't think the Illini have much confidence in their three-point shooting. Remember, they started the game 3 for 3. They're 1 out of 15 since then.
Well, that's what happens. You make a couple of those, and then all of a sudden you sort of live and die by that three-point.
Actually, 1 out of 13, but regardless, really struggled from the arc. That's the third personal foul on Brian Cook. We're under 8 minutes of the game, and we will have a timeout. What kind of answers do the Illini have in the remaining 7:45? Boilermakers trying to hold serve here tonight at Katie Court. A win will put them even with Michigan and with Wisconsin at 8-3. Willie D game's been held to a single point tonight, yet Purdue is in position to win. They should give a game ball to the whole bench there. These guys have really stepped up, and Jim, you talked about it. Here's a guy second in the Big Ten in scoring, and he's, really has been shut down so far by Illinois, but it's the other guys that have stepped up offensively, including number 20, Kenneth Lowe. Taking Harrington to the baseline. Kenneth Lowe with his fourth field goal leads the Boilermakers with 14. And there's a good example of him being aggressive and taking the ball to the hole. He knows that Harrington's got 4 fouls. And tried to get to the free throw line, but able to convert that shot. It's been a long time for Illinois when it made 3. And Roger Powell, who has picked his confidence level up, hits a big one. Yeah, and right now they're only down by 8 with about 7 minutes to go. They can get some stops here on this end, try to get back in the game. That's where it starts, right here on the defensive end for Illinois. Illinois has not defended Purdue badly, 39%. Just the fact that Purdue's defense has been a little bit better. And that's what Illinois, second in the country in defensive field goal percentage, and that's what's kept them on the games on the road. Austin tries a 3. Couple of bounces up in the air. Who's going to get it? And Illinois with a big opportunity here with 6:20 left in the game. Basket draws him within 6. A 3 would bring him within 5. This is a 3 against 2. Dean, offensive foul. Number 4 on Willie Dean. And Harrington really took a blow. He took a hard one there. Dean went over there. Both guys trying to rush to that open spot. And Harrington just took a blow right to the chops. Harrington was still moving, too. Yeah, I mean, they're both. It was just looked like he was about a step slow there getting there, but it was such a bang-bang play that nobody can doubt the courage of Sean Harrington, that's for sure. He got the wind knocked out of him there. This is another opportunity for Illini to get within 6. Yeah, like you said, Jim, they just seem to not be able to put the ball in the hole. They could just muster a little offense, and that's what hurts them on the road. It's Michigan State and Iowa and all those teams. How about Cook for 3? Roger Powell's been what an asset for Illinois off the bench, but he can't close it out. 2 pretty good opportunities for Illinois. Lowe tries a 3. The man whose offense has been missing in action is back. Well, he's found it now. Illinois timeout. Well, Jim, you talked about it. Gene Katie really wanted to have him step up, and he has here offensively. Hits down and that. And there's an example of him getting ready to shoot that shot. Gets to that open spot. Williams comes over there just a second late, and he buries it, and he's feeling it right now. So important to have Kenneth Lowe back to the offense. A little creativity from the Gene pool. Because Lowe, he takes so much pride in defense and can get really down on himself. Has been much needed in the Purdue attack. Both teams are in the bonus. The possession arrow gives the ball to Illinois. And the Boilermakers, if they need it, have got plenty of timeouts left. Sellout crowd tonight and just a couple of empty seats because of the weather. They have not missed any entertainment. No, they haven't. This crowd was ready for this game to go on, and Purdue started a little slow, but they wouldn't allow it. These guys pumped them up. The crowd does, and it was a real big factor for Purdue. And a Purdue win tonight makes them 13-0 at home, and Cook would have loved to have finished that one. Instead, he'll have to earn 2 points from the free throw line. Yeah, I'm just really impressed with Purdue's defensive effort. I mean, Illinois missed some easy shots, but they haven't had a lot of them. A lot of times when you're giving a lot of effort on offense and you do get open and you're tired, sometimes, you really struggle. And I think right now it's just the defensive pressure by Purdue has really been the factor in this game so far. Cook has hit all 5 of his free throws. He has been held to 13 points. That's considerably below his average. Illinois had a couple of chances, Doug, to get within 6, and Missed an open three and missed a tip. Yeah, they had some good looks down the stretch here. They weren't able to put them down, but here's a good example. Again, Purdue just allowing Illinois to stay in the game, whether a turnover or a missed shot, and keep giving them opportunities. You don't want to do that with the 13th ranked team in the country. You don't want to close the door if you can.
I like the play of Roger Powell off the bench tonight for Illinois. I think he's at least got them within shouting distance.
Well, I think both teams, effort-wise, you got to give them an A+. It's just that Illinois has struggled offensively here on the road. They're showing that they're a young team still.
On the bounce to Cook, who got inside, and Brian Cook gets his 16th point of the night, and Illinois back within 7, and Gene Cady senses a bit of a momentum swing.
A good idea by Gene Cady right there. Guys look a little bit passive, back on their heels. Illinois trying to muster something here, a run here at the end. Talked about Brian Cook really struggling offensively, 15 points in the game, 4 of those coming in the last 30 seconds here. But he's working hard. And there's guys all over him, and he's used to that every night. He's still scoring 20 a game.
It's amazing how the front runners in this league have protected their home court. Nobody has been able to get in and steal a win. And of the top 5, only Illinois was able to win on the road against the other top 5. That was in Minnesota, but it was so early in the conference season.
Yeah, I always thought as a player in this league that you had to really hold serve at home and go undefeated, and then at least split your games on the road if you want to have any success, for the Big Ten championship. And one of the surprising thing is all the success that Gene Cady's had. The 1968-69 season is the last time they went undefeated here in this arena. I just find that shocking when I was looking at the notes.
They've got a great chance to go and run the table this year, because if Purdue wins tonight, they'll have Michigan next Wednesday and then Penn State to finish off the regular season at home.
And it's very important for Purdue to win these home games, because they end up the end of the season going on the road the last 2 games at Michigan State. And both those programs are really playing well right now.
Gene Cady calls his team on the road a mystery. They have not played particularly well, especially lately. A 1-and-1 miss. Illinois back within 7 and maybe closer. A basket here would put some more heat on the Boilermakers. They're looking for Cook, who draws the double. And Cook forced it up and got his own rebound. Still couldn't get it. And look at the strength of Chris Booker.
Oh, Booker just ripped that right away from Powell. Powell playing that 4 spot, really giving up a lot of size there. And no match for the big man from Purdue.
Now Cook's got to defend Booker, who spins on him and misses.
Well, this is a crazy game, isn't it? Right now, you'd think Purdue would be up more, and it just seems like Illinois back in this game right now.
And that foul will allow Illinois some free throw opportunities. They've been unable to convert, moving the ball around. Maybe they'll get it with the clock stopped here and some free looks. 3:43 for the game.
Yeah, you talked about Roger Powell's effort right there. I mean, he is really working hard, and he's been a guy off the bench that maybe he hasn't scored a lot of points, but he's brought a lot of effort and energy out there.
Unable to convert the 1-and-1. Purdue thought an over-the-back foul would have been appropriate there,
especially on Brian Cook.
Lowe to the basket and got fouled, and Kenneth Lowe, the game's top scorer, stepping back to the line, and he's money at the free throw line.
Yeah, he's having a great time out there. He's smiling, laughing, and just feeling it out there. I mean, right now, he's been the difference maker here in this game. I mean, the second half, he's been the guy that's had the most success for Purdue. In the first half, it was David Teague, but this guy right now he's been the offensive burst they needed.
A very rare Kenneth Lowe miss. The next 4 games for the Boilermakers, all on ESPN+. It starts with Michigan next Wednesday night, then on to Columbus, where Ohio State's had a lot of injuries. Penn State back at home, and then to the Breslin Center in the I-Zone at Michigan State. That crowd's pretty crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, they were pumped up against Northwestern today.
Kenneth Lowe gets 1 out of 2. He's got 18 for the game, and Purdue must protect an 8-point lead to get back to the top.
56 and Illinois 48. 3 minutes and 28 seconds left in regulation. Young Kenneth Lowe. Brilliant evening tonight. A game-high 18. And here in the second half, he's had 11 of the 21 points by the Boilermakers, and he has really not only done it on this end, but defensively, he's put the clamps on Williams and Brown from Illinois. The hard-working player of the game. And I think it's fitting to award him the hard-working player of the game, brought to you by Fifth Third Bank for his 18 points, 8 of 9 free throws. Second vote might go to Roger Powell of Illinois, but his team right now is in trouble. Now, he's been the difference maker so far here in the second half. I mean, both teams have really struggled offensively, but that's based on the other team playing great defense, and this guy's been able to figure it out, and he's been able to put a little punch here in the second half offensively for Purdue. Illinois got to make up 8 points in the last 3.5 minutes. How do they do it? Well, they got to hit some threes. Someone's got to step up, make some shots, but they're not going to let Brian Cook beat him. Cook got inside and lays it in. Brian Cook now at 18, and Illinois back within 2 possessions at 56-50. Well, I don't know how he got that ball. There was 3 or 4 gold jerseys all over him, and he's able to. That was blocked from the official here, but he's able to convert that shot. Well, somebody's going to have a clean look from the outside, too, as well, if Cook gets in a place where he can't shoot the ball. Booker gets inside. Cannot answer. Well, Booker knows Augustine's got 4, so he's trying to attack him, but really force that shot. A difficult shot for him. And Illinois basket here would be huge, though. They're looking for Augustine, and the Illini turn the ball over. Well, that was a critical thing. Bill Self put his hands in his face, and Darren Williams again. It's hard when you're a young guy, a freshman in the league, goes right off his foot and goes out of bounds. See, the coach put his hands around his face. Yeah, but you could say he didn't get too upset with him. That's what Bill understands. He's got young guys out there that've got to learn the hard way. That'll allow Purdue to use some time here. Big possession for Purdue. Got to come away with something on this possession. They can get the shot clock and down to a few seconds, and the game clock down to 2 minutes. Instead, Dean shoots it and leaves it short. Some concern from the Mackey faithful here. Another opportunity for Illinois to get closer. Can Williams do it? Yes! A three-pointer by Darren Williams to cut it to 3. There was a foul, however, inside on Illinois. And I think it's on Augustine, and he is gone. Well, you know, he went down the court, Augustine did. He hit Willie Dean in the face, and he got away with it the first time. And then the second time, he compounds it now. I know he's a young player right there, and he's only 18 years old, but you got to know what you're doing out there. And he just took his team right out of it there, and everybody's looking at him. The first time they didn't catch him, but the second time, he goes right at Willie Dean. Not very smart. I mean, he's a better player than that. It's interesting, at Illinois, it was a one-point game. Illinois got a basket, and Kenneth Lowe threw an elbow. Got called for a foul, and Illinois went on to win big. So a similar situation here tonight. This game is brought to you by College Illinois, where you can prepay tomorrow's tuition and fees at today's prices. Fifth Third Bank, working hard to be the only bank you'll ever need. Balance Pro, the power of recharge. Pretty important, 1-on-1 for Willie Dean. Yeah, like I said, I was a physical player too, and I don't want to be too hard on him. But right there, it wasn't very smart, and be able to put these guys. Purdue struggling right now from the offensive end. You put him on the free throw line, Willie Dean, and able to convert that. So big possession, big turnaround there for Purdue and Illinois. 2 minutes, 58-53. Lowe snaps the floor. Katie Court ready to go to work on Darren Williams. Got a good one tonight in West Lafayette between 13th rated Illinois, 25th ranked Purdue, and a steal by the Boilermakers, and the 5th foul on Sean Harrington. And he's gone. Well, Willie Dean was quiet most of the game, but he is responding here the last 30 seconds with some big steals.
And some big free throws here. He does a great job reading the defense. Cook's wide open down low. Leaves his man. A slow pass inside. Cook is fighting off the guy on the top. Great help defense by Willie Dean. And Harrington really struggling right now. He had fouled out, but threw an air ball up in the game, and offensively continues to struggle with his jump shot. And that sometimes happens when you're a shooter. Some days it looks that rim looks like it's huge, and some days it looks so tiny, so small,
well, who would know better than that? You haven't been a great shooter in the conference and for the University of Illinois. Illinois just got a couple days to get ready for Michigan State. An ESPN game against the Spartans and Northwestern. Huge game against Indiana, which has been struggling lately and been on the road at Michigan. This game tonight will not cost Illinois the Big Ten championship if they lose it, but it would have been huge if they've been able to sneak one out.
Well, they've got 3 road games. Purdue tonight, Wisconsin on the road, and then also Michigan on the road. So they've got a tough schedule going down the stretch. They've got to find a win somewhere on the road.
7-point game. Illinois has really struggled from the three-point line after the great start. They could use a three-pointer or 2. Cook steps out to shoot one of them. Inside, D. Brown with a save to Ferguson. The Illini reload. That's a block by Booker, but a foul call by official Mike Sanzier, and Gene Katie will walk back in disappointment.
A lot of times when they blocks it this far from the basket, it looks clean, but he comes over with the right hand after the ball is released, and that's where the fans were upset. They got all ball first, then got the hand.
Don't expect anybody up in that student section to say, hey, great call, official.
Again, Brian Cook had a great look behind that three-point line. Did everything but go down, and that's sort of been the story for Illinois. They've had to earn every point here in the second half.
And you know, Cook's a decent three-point shooter, and yet 0 of 5 from the three-point line this evening.
And he's had some good looks, but if that's where, you want Brian Cook to hurt you from the perimeter, he's more effective down in the post area, and Purdue has really taken that away from Brian Cook and his scoring options.
If you're Illinois, you do not want to foul Kenneth Lowe and Willie Dean. Those are the 2 best. Take your chances perhaps with somebody else. And the other problem, too, is if you're going to foul, you do it early. Otherwise, just play out the possession. I think that might have been what Bill Self was angry about. Right now, let's take a look at tonight's ATA Flyer.
Brendan McKnight did a great job in the first half of really exploding. One of the few transition buckets that either team has really had. Defensively, both teams doing a good job getting back on defense. And we talk about senior leadership. Here's a prime example, Jim. Here's a guy, Willie Dean, struggled most of the game, stays with it. That comes with experience. And here down the stretch has been a big factor for Purdue.
Willie Dean doesn't have a field goal. All 7 points have come from somewhere else. 1 minute for the game. And an interception, 3 against 1, led by Busher. And that may just do it.
They look for that three-point shot. Great anticipation. They go in transition. Willie Dean fills the lane, able to get Williams up in the air and able to finish it off. And we talked about, senior leadership, and this guy, he didn't get frustrated the whole game. He stayed with it, played good, solid defense, and down the stretch he came through for his team.
At the 2-minute mark, Doug, it was a 3-point game, and on that same three-pointer made by Illinois, the foul was called on Augustine, and since then Purdue has taken off. And if Purdue hangs on the remaining 55 seconds, or back to a tie, Illinois would drop to 6-4 along with Minnesota. Illinois still has a game to be played to make up, along with Wisconsin and Michigan State back at 6-5. There's still time, but Purdue badly in need of a home win after a couple of tough road losses at Minnesota and at Northwestern.
Yeah, a lot of compaction, you know, in the league. I mean, there's not much separating from the top and the bottom. And when you go on the road, I mean, that seems to be the difference. The home team is able to come out and be successful.
And a Purdue win tonight means the home team went 5-0 in the Big Ten Conference today. That should make the Big Ten tournament terrific because nobody's at home there.
Yeah, I don't think anybody, I mean, they'll seed them, but I don't know if anybody's a favorite.
And the only team in the league that has not won a game is Penn State. Northwestern has shown life lately. And the rest of the teams, I mean, would you want to face one of them on opening day?
Well, I mean, that's going to make the tournament so great. I mean, you don't know. Any team can catch fire that week and really, you know, and run the table. So, you know, everybody's going to be, all the fans are going to be going up there expecting to stay there for a couple days. And unfortunately, someone's going to have to come home early.
Absolutely.
But I'm really impressed with Purdue's defensive effort. I'm doing all the games so far this year in the Big Ten. I don't think anybody's put the effort forward like Purdue did tonight. I mean, things didn't go well for them offensively, but defensively, they just got after it for 40 minutes.
Such a huge difference. Tough rebound for Ferguson. And Purdue protecting a 9-point lead, gets some more free throws. The ball has stayed in the hands of Dean and Lowe almost exclusively the last couple of minutes.
And that happens when you get down to a close game like that. You want it in your guard's hand. You want it in the hands of guys who are excellent free throw shooters. And Kenny and Willie are both like that. I mean, that's what you want. And guys recognize that, get the ball in their hands. But we talk about Purdue. They're playing with the pride and the tenacity that I'm used to having them, you know, used to seeing Purdue do. I mean, these guys have bit into the system what Gene wants. It's got the older guys preaching them, hey, this is what we got to do to win games. And Purdue's back right now.
Well, that Purdue section has been so spirited this season. And I think that's something you remembered about coming into Mackey many years ago, that folks were in this building 2-3 hours beforehand if they could.
They were making a run for the Big Ten championship. We came in that Illini Swallow bus. It was all orange and blue. Went by Fraternity Row. They're throwing things at us, yelling at us. And
welcome to West Lafayette.
Yeah, and then we got into the arena, and the whole place was already sold out for 2 hours before the game, and they're doing cheers as fans, and we're like, I thought the game was going to start in a couple hours. Well, it is. And the pride that they play with, the fans, and the fans really came to play tonight. I mean, they came out slow, Purdue, but fans would not allow these guys to give up.
Purdue ended the Illinois game, the first meeting, missing its last 13. Tonight, much different story, wrapping it up for the free throw line. We have a 16-point difference over Illinois. And so we will be back to a three-way tie for first in the Big Ten Conference.
Big Ten, and the rest of the teams above them have had at least 6 or 5. So they're going to have some catch-up here. The next 3 games are all at home, whereas Northwestern is at the United Center. But it's sort of like a home game for Illinois. They play a game there every year.
Gene's had some very spirited battles with the Illini over the years. This one, as Doug said, came down to defense. Purdue with a great stretch over the last 2 minutes. Will get a bit of revenge. Purdue now 8-3 in the Big Ten Conference. Illinois dropping to 6-4. As Kenny Lowe got a career-high 23 today, Jeff.
Yeah, he was everywhere. I mean, if he wasn't scoring, he held D. Brown 2 for 10 from the field. I mean, he was really the big difference, and Gene Cady just got to be really pumped up right now. Guys have responded, came in with a 2-game loss on the road, got the home cooking, got a big win against Illinois, 13th ranked team in the country.
And for Illinois, it's a regroup as they will look ahead to Michigan State Tuesday night. The Boilermakers will host Michigan on Wednesday. For Doug Altenberger, I'm Jim Barber. Thanks for joining us. This has been a presentation of ESPN Plus, the worldwide